The mitzvot that is repeated more than any other in the entire Torah is to not mistreat the strangers, to care for the orphans, the widows, the weakest members of society. Sadly, this has been lost to the majority of those who are Torah observant. So therefore, I want to clarify the message of Yehovah about the weakest members of society. Let's take a look at Isaiah chapter 1. Let's see what Elohim thinks of someone who thinks that they're so Torah observant and they're all about the community. It's all about us. It's all about the Jewish people, Israel, and nothing else. Who cares about the homeless? Who cares about the starving little children? Who cares about the widow who lost her husband or her husband ran out on her? Who has 2 children, 3 children? Nobody cares. The orphans who grew up as foster kids, and on and on and on. The weakest members of society, those who are suffering and hurting the most. Who cares? It's all about our community, right? Let's see what God says about this kind of mentality. Let's take a look at Isaiah chapter 1. We're going to begin with verse 10. Now listen to the words of Yehovah, our Elohim. And I want you guys to understand the message of this video is, it doesn't matter how Torah observant you are. If you are the most Torah observant, righteous person ever, but yet you ignore those of the society, the weakest members of society, those who are suffering, those who need us most, your Torah observance is meaningless. Let's take a look at verse 10. Hear the word of Yehovah, you chieftains of Sodom. Give ear to God's instruction, you folk of Gomorrah. What have I the need of all your sacrifices, says Yehovah. Sacrifices. I've had enough of your burnt offerings of rams and your fatlings and your blood of bulls. I have no delight in lambs and he-goats, that you come to appear before me. Who asked this of you? Trample my courts no more. Bringing obligation is futile. Incense is offensive to me. Your new moons and Sabbaths, proclaiming of solemnities, assemblies with iniquity. I cannot take it anymore, God says. Your new moons and fixed seasons fill me with loathing. I hate it. I detest it. They are becoming a burden to me. I cannot endure them. When you lift up your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. And when you lift up your hands, I will turn my eyes away from you. Though you pray for a long period of time, I will not listen. Your hands are stained with blood. Wash yourselves clean. Put your evil doings away from my sight. Cease to do evil. Learn to do good. Devote yourself to justice. Take care of those who are wronged or have been done wrong. Uphold the rights of the orphan. Defend the cause of the widow. Come, let us reach an understanding, says Yehovah. Though your sins be like crimson, they will turn white as snow. Though they are red like the dye of wool, they will become like fleece. If what? If you agree and give heed and obey. So he's literally saying, I don't care how Torah observant you are. I don't care about how many prayers you give to me. I don't care about your sacrifices. I don't care about any of that. If you don't care for the orphans, the widows, the strangers, and others in society that need you, it's all in vain. It's worthless. It's meaningless. I want you to take this with you and think about this and meditate on what is the most important thing to Elohim. Even in the times of the temple, the most Torah observant Jews were being rejected, and God is screaming at Israel, telling them that's not the bottom line. Yes, Torah observance is wonderful. It's holy. But what does it matter if you're not doing what he commands us to do more than any other mitzvah? More than 30 times we are told to take care of those in need, those who are suffering, those who are hungry, clothe the naked, feed the children, care for the orphan, the foster children. Not just in your own community, but the whole earth. Only when we focus on these most important mitzvot within the Torah will the heavens open up for all of us. Shalom.